However, we are asking for an explanation as to make it compulsory for a person who needs vocational skills to make his life a success. Thank you.
I'm Surya Prasad, and I'm here to speak for the proposition. At the Janaranjani preschool in Kerala, in rural southern India, children aren't building castles in the sand. Instead, as they sit cross-legged in front of a thin layer of sand, they're learning the fundamentals of reading and math. Hawke's government in Australia in 1988 said that education is one of the principal means for an individual to achieve economic independence, personal advancement and growth. But in the past, these benefits have only been enjoyed disproportionately by the more privileged members of the community. Those benefits need to be shared more widely and more equitably in the future. Sweden, Norway, Finland and Denmark have a combination of high living standards and low income disparity that has captured the world's attention. At a time when the growing gap between the rich and the poor has become a political hot button in developed nations, the region known as Scandinavia has been cited by many scholars as a role model for economic opportunity and equality. All the Nordic countries provide its citizens with free education. In fact, Sweden pays its students to study at school. Encouraging free education will attract those who have been deprived of this basic right. Now the government invests in its schooling system and makes it all free. The students study there and learn and gather information. Their thinking expands as they explore new opportunities and avenues. Once they are independent and self-sufficient, they start earning. And in return, they pay the government in the form of tax once they have started earning. So this investment is not only aiming towards equality, but also enhances the economic output and the sustenance of the nation. Furthermore, our intelligence would spread to other countries when we migrate, therefore indirectly being worldly to improve the worldwide society. All this for the price of free education. The returns are great.
Point of information.
Yeah.
Right, so now you've spoken about countries like Sweden, Denmark, which are countries which have developed or have a proper GDP, have a proper system of infrastructure. However, you're not talking about those poor or developing nations in Africa, like South Sudan or Ethiopia, where people don't even have money to feed themselves. How do you expect people to actually send their schools to children?
As you specifically mentioned, Africa, so Kenya is a huge example for that, where they are investing in their human resources, they are building schools and they are educating their children for free. So that completely, you're done with that Africa point. Anyway, I'll continue. Don't you think that the idea of education should only be limited to books? Providing a wholesome bite of education for all, including vocational training, some kind of a sport maybe, and learning to dance, sing, or play an instrument just as a hobby. This will help the child to identify his passion. Education is a mighty tool, and why should this power to empower be confined to those only who can afford it? Where this will help us to solve a number of problems in our country and later on in the whole world. Earnings rise for the people who have education. It is in our power to educate all the children of the world to become a little better as a person and a little happier. Rather than shaping the education system to an increasing, like a market, it should be shaped to become more accessible, democratic and fulfilling for people in all forms of income, races, backgrounds. A free and a meaningful education is definitely within our reach. I like to think that we all believe in one point. Education should be free. I do believe education is a right and not a privilege. I do believe education should be complementary to each and every human being. It shouldn't be exclusive or expensive. I do believe in free education where access to learning materials is based on a desire to learn and not on the ability to pay, and therefore education is not a product and henceforth it should be free.